So, ladies and gentlemen, the much-anticipated interview here this evening with University of Georgia football player and 2013 Aquinas alum, Brendan Douglas. First off, Brendan, welcome to the booth. Really glad to have you here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's great to be back here watching the green and gold play and, watching them do so good. It's really great to see that happen.
Well, we'd certainly like to say welcome home, Tyler, I believe, but, maybe can't call it home for you anymore.
Yeah, not quite. I mean, like I said, it's great to see the Irish do so well.
Awesome. Well, let's start tonight by talking about your journey from single-A football to Division I football. People talk about, can single-A athletes do it? Tell me a little bit about the speed change, the increase of responsibilities that you have, and how the mentors from Irish Nation, if you will, have played a very important role in that journey.
I'm not going to lie, it's definitely changed. It's definitely a different speed, but, it just takes a little time to get used to and getting used to playing with the defensive linemen that can run under a 5 flat on the 40 and things like that. But, you get used to it after a while, and after a couple weeks of camp practice and stuff, and I got used to it pretty well. But it's definitely a lot of responsibility. Going to meetings every day, trying to learn the whole playbook. It's really pretty tough, but I'm getting it down pretty well, and it's going pretty well.
What are we talking about, number of pages in that playbook? Right?
Oh, it's pretty big. It's about 3 inches thick. Yeah, we actually have an iPad now with the playbook in it.
Me old school talking about pages in here.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, excuse me.
It's all good.
Well, Tyler mentioned the importance of faith in Coach Rick's football program. It seems that you've had some incredible support from the players and staff at UGA, and those players, it hadn't been a secret being Gurley and Marshall and several of the big-time players up there. Talk about the importance of having these great leaders again, on this level or the next level, or, for that matter, anywhere on your journey in life.
Yeah, definitely. And Coach Rick, he's a great guy. And before every meeting, every practice, every meal, we're always saying a prayer and giving thanks to God. And he's really just a great guy and a great coach. And there's been a lot of people who have helped me through my journey. And Coach Zot through high school, he's always been there for me, and he's still there for me, texting me and helping me out and stuff. And people like that have helped me out a lot.
And I think Aquinas, you kind of said, really does a good job of supporting everybody that goes away. And I think Aquinas just does a good job of building up a good base for everybody.
And really, Tyler, whether that be from Wayne County or from Augusta, Georgia.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All the coaches, everybody that has coached me, has touched me somehow and, made me the player that I am today. And, I give thanks to them for sure.
And I know you have a long resume at Aquinas. We got the baseball state championship, playing for state championship freshman year, an all-state baseball player, as well as, over close to 300 yards, if not more, in your career here for football. And on count, you can't even count how many tackles you had. And I know the schedule at Aquinas is a little bit different than the one at Georgia. Kind of give us a day of a UGA football player right now. What are you doing right when you get up to when you go to sleep?
Man, I tell you what, they're big on study hall and stuff there. It's crazy.
Right? Always.
Keep you up on them grades. But, I wake up at about 6:30, go to study hall, and then I have class, and then I have to go to a mandatory lunch, and then I got to go to practice, and then I got to go to more study hall. But, they keep us pretty busy. I'm not going to lie. We don't stop throughout the day, but, it's all worth it on Saturdays, and getting out there and playing in front of 90,000 to 100,000 fans is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Awesome. It's got to be an incredible feeling. You talk about the hair on the back of your neck standing up, buddy. That has got to be an incredible feeling.
Oh, yeah. Running out of that tunnel, it's a lot of fun, man. It really is.
That's awesome.
A quick question. Just going to pull this one out. How did you take not getting number 44 in Athens?
I was all right. I had to move on, I guess.
Beggars can't be choosers, right?
I know, right?
I asked for it, but they gave me 22, which was all right with me. So I just had to move on. And
just divide it in half, and there you go.
That's good. We were on BD 44. Now we got to go to BD 22.
Oh, yeah. Keeping those double numbers going.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, listen. Irish have had a big year so far this year. Any shout-outs to the players or the coaches on the job that they have done so far this year? And, any advice on your new coach's motto on finishing the drill?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Coach Leonard, it's crazy what he's done here. And, after Coach left, there's a lot of questions, I guess you could say. And, Coach Leonard's definitely answered them for everybody. And they're getting the job done. And, those players are playing hard. And, Ruben is unbelievable this year. And he's really balling out. And, I give him a shout-out for that for sure. But, finish the drill is a big thing we've always gone by. And Coach Rick's definitely big on that, not just with football, but with school and with your faith and stuff like that. Make sure you're finishing the drill no matter what, no matter how much adversity you go through. Make sure you're always finishing the drill.
Very well said. And speaking of academics, let's go to academics quickly. Do you feel like Aquinas High School prepared you educationally for the rigors of the University of Georgia? And do you think, I'm sure that there are other schools that could have done the same, but do you feel that you really have the edge in the classroom?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I see some of these kids that are in my class that, don't have the education that I've had throughout my life. And, it's really helped me a lot going to Aquinas and having that great education to come in there. And, it hasn't been too hard for me, and which has helped out a ton. And, I give shout out to Aquinas for that.
Absolutely.
For preparing me for college, and I was ready to roll.
Especially when you start talking about the schedule that you've got to uphold. And just kind of a quick fun story here, or fun fact. I ran into your parents in the Village Deli the other evening, and your mom was talking about trying to come up there and help you clean up and do some things for you. And she said, all of a sudden, Brendan busts out his calendar and says, well, not next week, but the next week, and then I've got a 10:30 to 12:30 section here.
Like a full-time job.
We do not have much time off. I finally found a date for them to come up, but, we stay busy, that's for sure.
Fantastic. A good thing, certainly, on all fronts. And last question here I have for you this evening. We'll send you to Mark real quick before we wrap up. We're on St. Paul Radio, Catholic radio station, been a huge supporter of Aquinas High School. We were also broadcasting your games, Tyler and I, last year, except doing it over the internet radio. Broadcast has increased, pretty significantly here on Friday evenings. We've certainly been very appreciative to St. Paul Radio for that. But let's talk about your Catholic faith and how you feel like it has prepared you for the adversities that we all face in life. We know we've got to overcome, major events, if you will. How have you relied on your faith in order to do that?
Football is a game. You have your ups and downs, and, you're going to be down all the time, and that faith is definitely what's kept me balanced and, helped me out so much coming from a Catholic school and, going into a place like Georgia with Coach Rick, who's got great faith in the Lord, and, it's definitely helped me out a lot. All this adversity, there's a lot of adversity you go through, and, it helps me out a lot to have that faith.
Absolutely. Well said. And when we talk about adversities and, listen, you're talking to a kid, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to a kid who, for all intents and purposes, had the idea in his mind he might play 5, 6, 10 snaps this year, and now you've got the entire University of Georgia football fan base and program laying on him and a few other young guys' shoulders, and, it all comes back to, the strength that we build in our character as young men, and I think you've done a great job at that, Brennan, and we're all proud to say that you are a part of Irish Nation, and I know Augusta, Georgia feels the same way. So, Mark, talk to us a little bit and tell us what you're thinking.
I got one quick question. Brendan, how come you didn't come on the field and talk to me? You up in that warm booth. I've got to say, Georgia might be making you a little bit weaker.
It's chilly out here trying to stay warm up there.
Well, listen, I got one question for you, and I'm going to put you on the spot, and I got a comment. You finished one chapter of your life here at Aquinas, and you look back over the 4 years. Give me your favorite moment, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, whatever it is. Pick it out, and I'll tell you what, so put you on the spot, give me 2. That way you can have a favorite one.
Mitigate a little bit here.
I would have to say beating Wilcox County was definitely
love it.
Amen.
Definitely the one that sticks out. That was us getting over the hump, and you know, we had struggled and not beat a big team like that, and we came in there and just whipped them, and that was definitely one that sticks out.
That game was probably the game that put Aquinas really over the hump.
Oh, yeah.
Really got them on the map and got us on the map. And
just went out there and physically beat them. That's what we did.
Absolutely. All right, give me the second one.
Man, I'm trying to think.
It's got to be in the booth right now.
Well, not on the field, obviously, in the booth.
I don't know.
I know you're going to spend some second quarter with me down the field, right there, Brendan?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Well, listen, I won't hold you to that, but I got to say, and this is sometimes hard for me to say, as you good and well know, that we're a big Georgia Tech family at our house, but we're so proud of you. I followed Georgia more in the last 6 months than I have in the 50 years of my life. But the Aquinas family couldn't be more proud of you. I'm proud of you, and I feel fortunate that I got to see you play a lot because my son played a lot with you on both the baseball and the football fields. And I've looked back on a couple of the films to see you guys playing together. It's been pretty awesome. But, Brandon, I'm proud of you. You're a great young man and a great representative of this high school. And I can't wait for many great things to come in the future. And hopefully your brother will give me a ticket or two so I come up and see you play.
Give him a shout-out real quick. You told me to give a shout-out while I was giving you
a shout-out. Got to give a shout-out to Dennis Douglas and Statesboro, baby.
Well, Brandon, God bless you. God bless your family. Keep up the great work, and we're proud of you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, bud.
Very well said, Mark. And, can't fail to mention here, you're talking to a guy that attended Auburn University and bought my first Georgia shirt in probably 4 or 5 years when you committed there.
I still don't own a Georgia shirt, but I guess I better get one soon.
Hey, your son's wearing them, son.
I know it.
There you go.
Not in the house.
I got 2 of them.
He doesn't bring it in the house.
But it's got two on the back. That's what
And I will say double deuce is easier to say than double quad, so.
That's right.
Hey, fair enough. It's got a little better ring to it as well.
Absolutely.
So just inside a minute on the board here at halftime, you just heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Brendan Douglas from the University of Georgia, 2013 alumni from Aquinas High School. We'll take you to the last break here during halftime. You're listening to the Ty and Bryce Show on WKER FM's 91.1 St. Paul Radio.
Thanks for listening.